Hi, welcome down to the Devon Koi pond on a dry morning. It's not raining, it's pleasant, it's warm, but no sunshine. They don't give any today. Chance of a bit of rain later. We had a really nice day yesterday. Pond temperature's up to 19 degrees. Fish are all happy, feeding really well. Still no sign of spawning as of yet. Still chasing each other around. Very hungry. What we're going to talk about today is a little bit on what you need for your pond. You've got the pond, everything's sorted. What else do you need? Okay, there's a few essentials that you really do need. You cannot do without, and some that are really handy to have as well. There's a few things you cannot do without. One of them being a decent test kit. Now I favour these NT Labs ones, mainly because I've always used them. Tests ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, the pH, the alkaline, and the general hardness of the water, all in one box. There's a lot of different manufacturers got these out. The chemical drip ones are best. Don't use the strips, they do not work, they're not accurate. But I've always used this kit, I found it very handy. This is a must-have. You need to be able to test your water almost daily if it's a new pond, every couple of days as the pond gets older, and at least every week on an established pond. It's always nice to know exactly what the water's doing, and this will tell you that. Okay. Another handy thing to have, must have, is some form of bioenhancer to grow more bacteria. This will get the bio going in your filters. A lot of them are liquid, some of them are balls. I prefer this one from Evolution. It's a ball one you put in and they slowly dissolve and help pick up the bacteria in the pond by encouraging more to grow, because there's live bacteria in the balls. That I class as a must have. Okay. Right. Things happen in the pond. Fish get hurt, fish get damaged. I don't take mine out too often, but when I've got to with a little mark or a little dig, you're going to need some anti-bac of some description to put on the wound after you've cleaned it. Then to help seal it in, I favour wound seal. I get little knocks and digs on the fish, mainly at spawning time, so I've always got some of this on standby. If you haven't got these things and you don't want to buy them, but you've got a shop close by where you can pick them up within an hour or two, fair enough. But otherwise, have them on the shelf. Okay. Now, there's always the chance of picking up cooties in a pond, something nasty. So the basic treatments, I usually keep on hand just in case. There's some aquaflavin. Always like that. It's good for fungal, flukes, bacteria and some viruses, but it won't do them all. I also keep some hydrogen peroxide on hand just in case. This is very handy stuff. And of course the old malachite green. Now this with the aquaflavin in a mix in a pond will do a lot of the parasites, barring the flukes. A lot of the flukes need something else, a bit stronger, fluke M, fluke S, gill flukes and things like that. But you can get those in the pond as well. So it's handy to have a lot of these chemicals on standby or access to them very quickly. If you find out your fish got cooties, and the only way you're going to find that out properly is to have a microscope. If you've got a pond, you need a microscope. If you're going to keep koi, you definitely need a microscope, because at some point they will pick up cooties and you're going to want to know what it is. Now you can run around with a scrape sample to your local koi dealer and he might be able to analyse it for you and have a grab at what you've got there, but it's a lot easier to be able to test it yourself. So a microscope's a must. All of these chemicals can be dangerous if used improperly, overdose, or for a bit susceptible to some of them. You have to be a bit careful with. Most of them are koi safe if used in the right volumes. If you use too much, you will give yourself headaches as well by killing your fish. So they have to be used properly. Okay. The other must-have is a tub. Now I like these tubs, these measuring tubs. You can put them in the pond, you fill them with water and they'll float around on the top. Now I don't net fish very often. If I do, it's something serious. I'll net them, pop them into this. They usually quieten down after a little bit, and you can usually do it in the bowl in the pond for cuts, abrasions on the marks. In all thing, I don't get that much, mainly spawning time. They'll knock themselves around and you might get a nasty little bit. I know a lot of people seem to pull their fish out all too often. I'm not a lover of taking a fish out. I'll only take it out if I absolutely have to. I've got a friend that will pop round and help me when I do, because I'm not that confident myself on it. I don't like taking a fish out. I don't like knocking them out. And he's got a lot more experience than me, so I call in a friend. But if I had to, I would do it myself for a major treatment. I also have some pond salt on standby all the time. Salt bath to a fish will quite often perk up a fish that's having a few problems. Take them out, give them a strong salt bath. I don't salt the pond, but a fish put into a strong salt bath can do it the world of good sometimes. If it's infested with cooties or things like that, salt can take them straight off of it. Knocks the slime coat off of them and then encourages new slime to grow on them from just that salt bath. So these are just a few of the things that you ought to have around if you keep koi. Okay, so that was just a quick one on the kind of things that I keep here. I'm sure people will have a lot to add about what they keep or don't keep. At some point you will get cuties in your pond. Either you'll introduce it on a new fish, or frogs can bring it into the pond, birds can bring it into the pond, or it can just seem to appear from nowhere. You can get something nasty, and you won't be able to identify it with a microscope and treat it properly. Okay, I'll give you a quick look down here while we're here. Not a lot's happened. Water cress is really gone yellow now. That's going to be coming out probably later today. If it doesn't rain. If it rains, I think I'll leave it through the week. It's yellow right up now. But I think I can rely on the other plants now to take care of what's happening there. So let's have a quick look down here. As you can see, the old nimbus or mimbus is right up, huge leaves on it. That's doing really well. The tomato plants have picked up a bit there now. They're coming up, but the crest is looking decidedly unhealthy. I don't think there's a lot of good stuff left for it to feed on in the water. I gather since it's an iron-rich plant, it's taken all the iron out of the water, and it's suffering because of it. The grass is coming up nice. The mint's looking okay. The water lilies and the soldiers are still in there, but I just need to pull some of this out and get rid of it. It's just kind of died off. I've been having a bit of a sort out down in here today. The overspill from the TAM vortex sometimes was getting onto the concrete, so if waterproof sealed the concrete, and the overspill now runs off into the gravel in the back. So that's what I've been playing with there, hence all the junk on the top. I keep a couple of bags of zeolite handy. We'll go into that at another point, but that's really handy for ammonia spikes and nitrite and such like. You can drop one of those in when it's charged and set to go, and it will pull ammonia out of the water. Very handy thing to have just in case. The fish are all down the bottom. I think I've spooked them a bit myself this morning by wandering around. And all in all, that's about all there is to report down here for the moment. As you can see, the garden's in a bit of a mess. We've been trying to get on the lawn and mow it properly now for days, but we still keep on having rain. Every time I seem to get the mower out, or her indoors gets the mower out, I tend to like to her to do the mowing, but it seems to rain. Yeah. So hopefully this week will be better. They're forecasting it was better, and we'll see where we go with it. So from down here in Devon, that's all for this week. So enjoyed this little look round and the little talk I've given you. So, it's bye for now.